Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Luffy, our rising pirate king, is about to save Grandpa Garp from the claws of Blackbeard's crew, and on top of that, he's going to wipe the whole gang off the map once and for all. This isn't fanfic, it's pure speculation based on the latest fresh chapters, like Chapter 1165 that just came out of the oven in November 2025, packed with insane God Valley flashbacks showing just how incredible Garp really is, and how it's all tying into the current event. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Now, we're about to witness his comeback. All right, folks, let's start with the basics, but with a fun twist. Remember when Garp stormed into Hachinosu like a hurricane of justice back around Chapter 1080? The old Marine hero, with that galactic punch that makes Zoro look like a sword-wielding intern, charged in to rescue Kobe, who was more lost than Usopp in a forest of lies. He traded blows and words with Aokiji, the former freezing admiral, now playing for the double-faced villain team because, well, Blackbeard collects traitors the way Sanji collects kitchens, and then took a sneaky hit from Shiryu, the invisible ghost who stabs from behind. Garp, the man who tanked Roger and Rox D. Zebek in the same round back at God Valley, as we saw in Chapter 1165, ends up caught in a trap and gets captured. Just imagine Blackbeard's ego inflating more than Luffy's balloon in Gear 5. I got the Marine hero. He must have laughed, sounding like an underwater earthquake. But hey, that's not the end of the line for Garp. It's just Oda setting up the stage for a rescue with more plot twists than a Dragon Ball episode. Now jump to what's happening right now in the manga, over on Egghead, where Luffy's busier than a chef at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Chapter after chapter, we see the Straw Hat crew dealing with CP0, the Gorosei, turning into yokai beasts that'd make Orochimaru blush, and Vegapunk spilling world-shaking truths that make Imu tremble in the empty palace. But don't forget, meanwhile, Garp's still over there in Hachinosu, probably telling bad jokes to Blackbeard's goons, just to pass the time like, hey, Doc Q, is your disease contagious or just the boredom of working for the wrong boss? And Blackbeard, he's quiet, but we know he's never idle. He's got Whitebeard's power literally on his back and is hunting devil fruits like it's Black Friday at a store full of overpowered abilities. In Chapter 1106, or somewhere around there, we saw him moving pieces in the New World, taking over territories and waiting for the right time to strike. But why do I say Luffy's gonna crash that party? Because, folks, family ties in One Piece aren't filler, they're pure dynamite. Think about it. Luffy and Garp share the same blood, a bond of grandfather and grandson that Oda crafted masterfully. Luffy already tried to save Acewell, almost, and that one hit us like a punch in the gut. And now, with Gear 5 evolving into something that makes Nika dance samba in the sea's underworld, he's not letting Grandpa rot in some pirate prison. In the current manga, post-Chapter 1160, we see Luffy questioning loyalties, laughing in the face of death while turning islands into rubber playgrounds. And Garp, in the flashback from Chapter 1165, he and Roger join forces against Rox, proving that unlikely heroes can become legends. That's Oda winking at us. Hey, get ready for Luffy-Garp duo. 2.0 more rubber, fewer mustaches. Imagine the hype. Luffy arriving in Hachinosu on a giant elastic cloud balloon shouting, "I'm your grandson, Grandpa. Time to stretch those black horns." But let's dig deeper, because redundancies for villains who repeat bad plans. The Blackbeard pirates are an organized mess of freak show of powers that break logic. Blackbeard with the yami no mi, sucking everything in like a soul vacuum. Jesus Burgess tanking hits tougher than Frankie after upgrades. Van Augur teleporting bullets like an X-Men Nightcrawler with a cowboy hat, and Katarina Devon shape-shifting into anyone, even Luffy, if he slips up. In the recent chapters around the 1150s, we see echoes of all that connecting with Egghead, where Void Century secrets are leaking out like spoiled coconut milk. Blackbeard wants the One Piece, but to get there, he needs pieces like Garp, not just to humiliate the Marines, but to extract info about Roger and Laughtail, because the old hero knows more than his fist ever told. Here's where the fun speculation begins. What if, after escaping the chaos on Egghead, which is wrapping up soon, with the chapters past 1160 showing the 5 elders flying to the island like starving vultures, Luffy gets a message from Sabo or Dragon via Denden Mushi. Luffy, Grandpa's in Blackbeard's hands, go say hi. Luffy, being Luffy, doesn't think twice. Meet, rescue, let's go. His grand fleet's already growing. The giants of Elbaf are on the horizon. Okay, Elbaf hasn't fully started yet, but the teasers in the 1100s make it clear it's close, and Zoro's sharpening his blades for the next round. Imagine Zoro slicing through Hachinosu's gates with an onigiri so sharp it makes Shiryu sweat bullets, while Sanji kicks goons with a flaming Diable Jambe yelling, "Hands off my captains, Grandpa." That's Oda's favorite thing, turning dysfunctional families into armies. And Garp, when Luffy shows up, it'll be one of those grandfather meets rebellious grandson moments that warms the heart more than Ace's fire ever could. In the manga, Garp always trained Luffy with punches of love, shouting, "Be a man!" And now, the tables will turn as Luffy shows Grandpa what he's learned. Based on the Gear 5 from chapter 1071, where he turns reality into a cartoon, Luffy's gonna stretch Blackbeard like a giant elastic band, turning Yami Yami into a black hole of confetti. Now it's the Haba dance! Luffy laughs, while Blackbeard tries to suck in his laughter and ends up swallowing his pride. The others? Aokiji freezes the sea, but Luffy melts it with a solar Nika punch, turning the island into a frozen picnic. Daku spreads disease, but Luffy laughs so hard he cures it with Haki of Joy, because in the world of Gear 5, laughter is the ultimate antidote. But hey, it's not all about the brawls Oda's layering things up. In chapter 1165, we see young Garp reluctant to team up with pirates, yet doing it for the greater good against rocks. The perfect parallel to Luffy now, a pirate saving a legendary marine, breaking down the world's barriers. That's going to shake the Marines to their core, with Akainu growling in fury, and Kizaru, who's betraying everyone on Egghead, maybe even laughing inside. And Blackbeard, his defeat won't just be physical, it'll be the collapse of the empire he built by stealing powers. Luffy, with the advanced Haki we saw in Wano and Egghead, will face the will of D from both sides. Roger's heir versus Rock's ghost. You laugh from the shadows, I laugh from the sun, Luffy declares, and boom, an earthquake of freedom erupts. Expanding that, just imagine the secondary battles. The kind that make the editing take hours because every Straw Hat gets a full-blown cinematic moment. Jinbei takes center stage beneath the waves, controlling the ocean currents around Hachinosu with godlike precision, turning the enemy cannons into nothing more than toys, sinking in a giant bathtub. Nami, riding the thunder with Zeus in hand, summons a storm so massive that lightning rains down on Blackbeard's flying artillery. Wait, flying artillery? Well, speculation time. With Lafitte soaring around like a bat, of course they've got air support. Meanwhile, Chopper and Monster Point form becomes a one reindeer army smashing enemies, healing allies, and even biting villains with fangs coated in medicine. And Brook? Oh, Brook's stealing the show. His freezing melodies locking souls in ice while he belts out Bink's sake to keep everyone's spirits blazing. It's a Straw Hats versus Blackbeard's festival. Every matchup a chapter of its own inside the fans' mind. Then comes the climax after Luffy saves Garp, who breaks free from his chains with a punch so powerful it cracks the entire prison. Grandfather and grandson share an elastic iron fist high five. Garp laughs, "You're worse than Roger, kid," and Luffy grins back, "Grandpa, let's eat some meat after this." But to finish them all off, Luffy needs an evolved Badgeron gun, now infused with Garp's own Haki, because in One Piece, family shares more than blood, they share technique. Blackbeard, wielding every stolen devil fruit, mutates into a grotesque, multi-powered monster. Yet Gear 5 turns the battlefield into a cartoon circus where gravity takes a vacation and darkness itself becomes a joke. In the end, as Blackbeard collapses, laughing one last time, Luffy stands over him and declares, "Pirates are free, just not monsters like you." The sea calms, Hachinosu becomes an allied base, and the world shakes with the headlines, "The Yonko fall one by one." But hold up, folks, this doesn't end there. Connecting back to the current manga, Egghead is revealing that the government's true plan is to erase heroes like Garp to bury the past. Saving him is Luffy poking the hornet's nest, fast-tracking the final war, with chapters 1160 plus showing the Gorosei panicking, Blackbeard becoming an unwilling pawn in Imu's grand chessboard. Everything points toward Luffy flipping the whole game. Speculation goes wild. Sabo sneaking in undercover, Ivankov patching up wounds with those wild hormone powers, and maybe even Law teleporting the Sunny straight into Hachinosu with the Ope Ope no Mi. It's a revolutionary crossover of allies that makes every fan's heart race. Now, breaking it down narratively, this all makes sense. Oda never kills legends without purpose. Garp is the living bridge between eras, and rescuing him reinforces One Piece's ultimate theme, freedom over blind loyalty. Luffy defeating Blackbeard would close the cycle of Roger versus Rocks, with the hero's grandson rising as the world's new liberator. In chapter 1165, The Roger-Garp duo is called the strongest. And now, Luffy carrying both the will of D and Nika's laughter is the natural evolution. It's not repetition, it's progression. From Garp's fist of justice to Luffy's fist of joy. Continuing that vibe, imagine the global impact. Newspapers across the world screaming, Straw Hat saves marine hero Sengoku. Another wise old lion bows his head with tears in his eyes. Dragon, quietly watching, begins plotting the next revolutionary move. And Luffy, still the same humble goof, just craving meat and adventure. Beating every Blackbeard pirate, just another Tuesday for him. If the tone stays light, the manga itself would feel like a stand-up routine. Hey Blackbeard, you thought stealing fruits made you king? Try a Gomu Gomu no King Punch instead. To stretch the theory even further, remember Blackbeard's biggest weakness, he can't nullify humiliation. He feels pain and pride, not body. And Luffy is the absolute master of humiliating villains. Gear 5 doesn't obey logic. It mocks it, making it the perfect weapon against Blackbeard's chaos. The final battle, the island quakes. The dark sky splits open as Nika's sun rises, and the shout of victory echoes across the seas. Garp free, the Blackbeard pirates scattered or sunk, and Luffy sailing off toward the horizon with a grin that lights up the world. And that, folks, is just the beginning of what could unfold, based on everything Oda's been teasing so far. If you're hyped, drop a like, comment Luffy saves Garp, and subscribe for more wild One Piece theories, because the adventure's only heating up. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.